Hello, welcome all to the first Soul Ripple Direct. My name is Dreamcastle, and I'm the co-creator of Soul Ripple. Today we're excited to share with you all news on our upcoming demo, as well as information regarding the full release. Genuinely, thank you all for your time today, as you enjoy the passion we've all put in within the last 3 years of development. And now, without further ado, please enjoy this.
They say eyes are a window into the soul. You stare into the boundless void, and it stares back, revealing your future. Many twisting paths leading to countless destinies. But as I look back at the single straight line that brought me to this point, I wonder if this all could have been avoided. If things could have been better had I chosen the correct choices. I stare at my reflection and it feels hollow, as if I'm not even...
Boring! Man, does this broad ever shut up? I was hoping I could learn what we're doing here listening to these tapes. Guess I'll have to get the story out of you, then.
Alright then. Our goal here is to gather 10 individuals of varying backgrounds with the right parameters and have them participate through a gauntlet of experiments. Those which test their mental faculties, physical attributes, and ability to decide moral quandaries.
In English!
Fine. We're gonna trap 10 people in a large facility. They have to solve puzzles, overcome deadly traps, and make hard decisions, all of which can potentially lead to their deaths. Happy?
Oh yes. The idea of people dying makes me very happy.
I hope you all enjoyed the demo trailer for Soul Ripple. And now, a quick word from our art director. Thank you, Alan.
Holy crap, Coach Soul Ripple.
Hey, Peter! You got a beer?
Now, let's go over some key information regarding the demo. In the Soul Ripple demo, you can play 2 distinct gameplay modes. Each mode explores a different aspect of the game and will have a self-contained story. In the debate mode, you can experience the full cast of characters in a heated debate, showcasing the basics of how a discussion will work. In the maze mode, the cast will be more curated and you will explore a twisting maze of mirrors. For maze mode specifically, there will be 3 options that will let you curate your experience. These are Standard, Assist, and Story mode. And there you have it. I hope you enjoy exploring every possibility the demo has to offer. And that concludes the rundown for the Soul Ripple demo. Now to cap things off, I'd like to end the direct with an interview with some of our talented voice actors.
Woo!
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dream Castle, and I've got here with me 3 lovely voice actors from the Soul Ripple project. And yeah, so you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name is Richard Eckert. I am a voice actor, writer, and occasional podcaster, and I'm the voice of Sherlock in Soul Ripple.
Hi, I am Gina Lee Smith. I am a voice actor and video game researcher, and I am the voice of Rose.
Hello, I am Dahlia Dearly. I am a voice actress and a podcaster.
Let's go. Awesome. It's really great to have you guys in here tonight. So yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead. I got a few questions here for you guys. Just kind of wanted to see your answers. For this first question I wanted to ask everyone. So what inspired you guys to become a voice actor? What's your biggest point of inspiration?
Well, ever since childhood, I had been a really big fan of cartoons, animation, and just movies in general. And one thing I would always do at the end of every episode was pause the credits of whatever I was watching to see who was voicing who, and I noticed that people made actual careers out of that, and I wanted to do that myself. And I also did theater ever since high school, so I took lessons, I studied and trained and auditioned for things, and ever since then I've been off to a pretty decent start with, indie animation and the current subject, and I've loved every second of it.
I also have been a lifelong actor. I used to do a lot of straight plays and musicals in high school and college, and even before that. When I started working in the video games industry, being able to do, local theater and things like that, it was very, very difficult to fit into my schedule. I'd always loved voiceover. Likewise, I love video games. I love animation. And I was like, what type of theater can I fit into my schedule and do at 2 a.m. and still get, be able to scratch that acting itch? And I was like, oh, right, voiceover. So I studied it, and finally a wonderful friend started tagging me in public auditions, being like, hey, for real though, give it a shot. And that was enough to push me over the edge and get me to start actually auditioning, and I never looked back.
Yeah, I think for me, what probably did it was also growing up in a golden age of cartoons and animation. I watched all these shows growing up, and eventually would find out some of these voice actors and voice actresses had insane range. I've always said that Richard Stephen Horvitz in particular is one of my biggest inspirations, because that guy vocally can go everywhere. Finding out he was such a huge part of my childhood, from Invader Zim to Power Rangers and Billy and Mandy. I couldn't believe the amount of range that guy had. And then, Toonami hit, and I saw that voice acting was a really serious profession. I saw all these guys, the Funimation actors and actresses, doing a good job, doing amazing work. And then in the 2010s, when indie animation started to pop off online a lot, and I saw all these indie animators becoming voice actors and voice actresses, and in particular, even outside that space, when Friendship is Magic popped off, I started looking into the careers of these talented actresses, and seeing the range some of them had, Tabitha St. Germain, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that.
Next question I had for you guys. So which piece of fiction has the most impact on you, and why?
See, this question is like asking me who my favorite kid would be, but if I had to give the immediate response, probably the most significant piece of media in my entire life is a video game, actually, and that video game is Final Fantasy IX. JRPG from 2000. my favorite in the series. It has my favorite aesthetic. It has some of the most beautiful cutscenes in the whole series, and it actually kind of gave me some practice for voice acting because, you know, it was all most of the early Final Fantasy series, it was text-based, so I would use it to practice. And also, it to me encapsulates a almost perfect balance of comedic and dramatic elements. It came out for me at a time where I was just developing a personal philosophy, specifically on the topics of honor-bound friendships and finding meaning in a seemingly uncaring world. Like the themes of death and existentialism really stuck with me, and they still do all these years later.
No, I'm 100% there with you. Oh no, I think we might end up being the JRPG crew here. I was desperately scanning my brain being like, come up with something different. But I want to be honest, and probably the most influential piece of media for me personally was the game Tales of Symphonia, which is also a pretty classic JRPG, came out in I think 2003. And I had played video games before that. We were a Sega family. I grew up with Pokemon also, and Bomberman and Knights and all sorts of classics there. But Tales of Symphonia captivated me. It is a story that presents itself up front as a very classic fantasy story. A chosen one and a bunch of heroes have to quest around the continent and save the world by allying with the angels. And it ends up being a very different story. And it was a wonderful evolution for fiction for me at that age to sort of discover what stories could do, that they might wear hats and then reveal themselves to be something completely different than you expected. And I remember I rented that game from Blockbuster, I think 4 times before they finally let me just keep it. So that was a really influential game for me. It solidified my love for games. It got me very interested in fantasy as a genre. And also, similarly, it has wonderful voice acting, but not everything is voiced. And I used to voice it with my friends. And that was something that got me on this path as well.
Cool. Yeah, unfortunately, seems like we're going 3 for 3 with RPGs here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, for me, it was probably The World Ends With You.
Oh, heck yeah.
Good pick.
I grabbed that. I borrowed it from a friend as a teenager, and it was during a time when I was getting much more cynical and closed off and just meaner, I felt. So I saw a lot in the struggles of Neku, and particularly in trying to open up and become more true to your feelings, being more open about yourself and honest, and learning to accept and love the people around you and like become your true honest self is something that had a very profound impact on me as like a trans woman. You know, that's one of those things I think back on to this day. And between the stellar music, gameplay, and art design, I still love it to this day, and I think that the sequel should have been way more successful and that Square botched the marketing, but regardless of that, it is still a powerful piece of media that I hold dear in my heart, and its characters and its themes just resonate so strongly with me to this day.
Absolutely. That really was in like the golden age of DS games as well. Like some of the best games,
Yes,
in my opinion, of all time came in there.
Absolutely.
Dude, yeah. What you said, Gina. So fun fact. So this whole project all stemmed from the love me and Josh had of voicing through visual novels together. We because Josh is a big voice actor. I'm a theater kid. And he got me into Danganronpa, and we voice acted through all the character games, and I was like, wow. And we started branching out and playing all these different games, and we'd voice all the characters. Super fun, and just that is the whole reason this whole project exists. It's just the love of voicing stuff with your friends and making a story that it's cool.
I feel that in my bones.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Third question. We're going to start getting some more game specific questions. So, about each one of your characters that you guys voice in this project. So, what are your personal opinions or thoughts, feelings on your characters so far? You know, still in the demo, not super a lot to go off of, obviously, as respected for the whole game, but just general thoughts so far.
So Sherlock is a character I appreciate because as the protagonist, I feel like he'd be an easy person to make a bit too milquetoast and too like audience surrogate-ish. But and there is a lot of that because of him having to figure out what happened to his lost memories and how the hell he ended up in the situation he's in. But something I appreciate is that sort of inquisitiveness is also juxtaposed by a bit of barbed wit. Some of my favorite lines was having to express the internal frustration he felt with some of the Snyder characters, like Blondie or Doc, or people that he just didn't get along with very well. What's real fun to me as a voice actor is trying to have him just out of his element enough, but not so clueless as to be just a stand-in, you know? I feel like that was a fun challenge for me to try and thread that needle.
So obviously only speaking to the demo, but Rose very much in the demo is a mediator character, while everybody is very much on alert and intensified because of the scenario that they find themselves in. Rose is very much trying to keep the balance, keep the cool in the room, and keep everybody kind of on task and make sure that things aren't spinning off into a place where they can't be controlled anymore. Even when very briefly she is under scrutiny, she's only on the back foot for just a moment. And so I think the role she's playing in the demo is very much the controlled, calm mediator. And I think that's great fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. For me, you know, Blondie, I think he's a little shit, obviously, but you know, I think that he's kind of projecting a little bit. I think there is like a softer center to him that's hidden underneath all the bluster, but you know, he doesn't know these people. He's in a very stressful situation, and he's trying to project a cocky demeanor that like is, you know, putting on a hat on top of a hat. Like he's a naturally cocky person, but he's trying to keep himself a bit calm by leaning more into his like strengths as they were. Even if he's like, you know, coming off as a huge asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was something I actually kind of got out of our recording sessions because, well, behind the scenes trivia for you. Sometimes Dahlia and I will record together because there's that proximity. We're good buddies, and and
Dang.
yeah, and it'll happen sometimes. Like I've noticed when you do some of Blondie's lines, you really lean into the whole peacocking aspect of his character, and you'll like puff up your chest a little bit. Like you lean into it, and it's
That's
so
so
much fun to
fun.
play off of you.
What's your guys' favorite line in Soul Ripple so far of the demo? What line stuck out to you guys that you're like, ah?
See, I know this is basic, but I gotta go with the catchphrase here because it's so much fun to do.
Back up a second.
For me, like I said, Rose is very much the mediator and kind of just like bringing down the temperature in the demo. But it is fun because at certain points, the eye of scrutiny falls on her. So I like when she loses her cool just a little bit when she's like, wait a moment. What do you mean? Me? And then she's like, no, sorry, I get it. I understand the logic. So I really like those moments where she's a little bit flapped.
For me, I think personally, my favorite line from the demo, it's not one of my lines, but I think it's I'm Raven, I'm mysterious in purple. It's just funny, and you immediately know. you just immediately know it's like, okay, yeah, he's hiding something.
Again, I just want to thank everyone, thank all of you guys for coming out of your busy schedules and everything. It really means a lot. Honestly, like this project just would not be the same without you guys. All of you are super phenomenal. Like me and Josh always gush about how good the voice acting is in this game. Like you guys' deliveries are so freaking funny sometimes. It's just so good. Like, man, I can't stop gushing about it. Like I brag about it all the time. Man, our voice acting is top notch. That stuff is
Aw.
good. So
Well,
I
thanks.
really appreciate
Okay.
all of you guys, and I'm blessed to have you guys on my team. So thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks
That's
for
so
giving us
kind.
good stuff to work with. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
awesome. Anyways, yeah, thank you guys a lot, and yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks you guys
yep,
for watching.
yeah. Can't wait to see you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.